Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a very intriguing update when it comes to both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Now, this is going to be a little bit more of, I think, like the hardcore technical side, but this actually, I think, is going to be really cool and should be coming in the very near future. Now, like I said, it's going to be a little bit more on the in-depth side, and there's probably even some words that I myself don't understand, but I'm going to try my best to at least give you guys my good interpretation on it. And this is in regards to the update of the internal graphics cards that are basically being utilized for these consoles, and basically the optimization of like certain technologies that they're utilizing to make the games better. It's kind of the similar thing too, because it's kind of think like maybe like a GPU, and they have a GPU driver, and the driver itself basically runs games a little more efficiently, and kind of going from there. Although that's probably not the best example. This may be better, more so kind of compared to say like to NVIDIA's like DLSS and other various things like say like ray tracing to kind of go basically make the games a little bit better. So like in better terms, I'm going to be probably awful explaining this stuff, but it's good news either way, and it should be good internal updates, especially for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X's. Maybe someone out there in the comment section might be a little bit more knowledgeable than me. If everybody go chime in 100%, would love to have you guys out there if you guys want. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on before we fully dive in the video, as well for the PlayStation 5 giveaway. Twitter link down below for the PlayStation 5 giveaway too, and Twitch stream down below. Got that Weeble, got that Coinbase, and let's go dive in this video, and also keep on checking out for those Amazon links down below as we're patiently waiting up for all those good old drops, and also for a warehouse console. So, as you guys maybe got picked up from the very start of this one, AMD actually has a very intriguing update coming in the very near future. Now, if you guys don't know, AMD is the actual graphics card maker for these consoles, both in regards to the Xbox Series X, as well as also PlayStation 5. So inherently, whenever anything happens in terms of upgrades, when it comes to specs, when it comes to software, when it comes to internals, when it comes to everything, that also goes and means that the PlayStation 5 and Xbox will as well be also having a pretty nice improvement. And this actually be something we're going to be hearing about too, because they technically already have a 1.0 version of this, but for now, you're actually going to be seeing a 2.0 version come in the near future. I do believe there's actually going to be an actual brand new thing coming out tomorrow too as well. So a little bit of a heads up in case you guys see some similar topics throughout this week. And then they have a proper conference talking about this as of tomorrow. So let's go talk about this, because it's actually kind of cool and pretty nifty news. So we have actually an article over here from Digital Trends talking about the AMD Fsr 2.0, which is basically regards in like a big direct comparison to the DLSS from NVIDIA, and it's coming soon. This could be a lot of, like I said, a lot of technical sides in this one, and I'm going to try my best. So basically, AMD has now lifted the curtain on the new version of Fidelity FX's Super Resolution, or FSR for short. And this time around, it's looking to be more direct competitor to NVIDIA's DLSS. The aptly named FSR 2.0, it's kind of hard to say, promises higher image quality compared to the first version, and according to AMD, it could also hold its own against native resolution. So first and foremost, just off the words that go in state, it says it promises higher image quality compared to the first version, and then AMD fans have eagerly waited for an upscaling solution to go toe-to-toe with NVIDIA's DLS, which is basically deep learning super sampling. For now, though, all we have is a few screenshots from AMD. You can see the FSR 2.0 at work in Deathloop down below. So this actually might be really hard for you guys to even go and see. I'm going to maybe put my webcam off to the side, because in all honesty, it's even hard for me to kind of go and pinpoint exactly on like what makes it more fine-tuned. But basically, this is with regards to FSR 1.0 on with performance mode with RT, FSR 2.0 on performance mode with RT, and then this is on 4K native resolution with ray tracing. So at least from what I can actually go and see, and you guys can maybe chime in your own thoughts with it, maybe the castle's one of the better comparisons to kind of go and showcase up the details. It's kind of harder to also see on a YouTube video too as well, but maybe look at this literally one line right here, to the point where I almost want to go and see if I can maybe kind of just zoom in really heavily on this one and show you guys, where it does kind of seem like this is the perfect example literally right here. So as you guys can maybe go and see, it kind of shows like the line. This is maybe harder for you guys to see. You guys can always comment down below, but it kind of seems like it kind of showcases up the individual specs, and it's kind of almost like, I believe, like machine learning, where it essentially will go and render out things a little bit quicker and easier, and essentially fills in the blanks a lot more to make things a little bit less I guess sloggy looking, less like it makes it look a lot more confined. So maybe a good example is if you kind of look at the textures for this one, where it looks a lot more textured, looks a lot more alive, or maybe the better examples maybe even on this little window right here, where you guys can kind of see like it just kind of looks blurry. It doesn't look as defined. It doesn't look as nice. It still like doesn't really matter that much on the side because it's a far away texture. But as you guys can kind of see, it does at least to me, it does kind of show that this looks a lot more fine-tuned. So you can kind of see like you have like more of these in-depth lines. They're more built on in comparison to this where it kind of just looks like it's spray painted. It kind of looks on the blurry side. I hope this is probably the best comparison to kind of show, but it's basically, I believe, just more so showcasing up on like how it can kind of fine-tune the whole graphics and rendering and makes, hopefully, ideally, graphics a lot more efficient as time goes on. Now, I might be doing this completely on the wronger side, too, but it does kind of seem like this does look a little bit more on the detailed side, less blurry, a little bit more intense, and I do think that's probably one of the better comparisons between all of these. It's also a little bit harder to do as go and see on top of this, but so you can have a chance to go and see. So I'm going to put my webcam back on over here. I might be completely wrong on this, too, by the way, so I'm saying if you guys are smarter down below, you guys can, and we'll probably see a little bit more details as well, because as you guys can see, they're actually going to be doing a, basically a little bit more of a technical showcase and technical details on the FSR 2.0 at the Game Developers Conference to basically tomorrow on Wednesday. So we actually might have a video on that throughout the day or maybe throughout on Thursday, so keep that in mind in case you guys are seeing similar topics. But it's going to be kind of more so been on the announced throughout the past like a few days or so, and as I mentioned, because AMD is the main maker and supplier, all of this will be affecting up the internals for, say, the PlayStation and Xbox. Any type of better technology they can to utilize this stuff a little bit better usually can and usually does go right towards consoles as well and all the console stuff. A lot of this is also even kind of meant for their next-gen AMD cards as well, but a lot of this stuff, at least in some way, shape, or form, or the technology will be utilized in consoles. So for now, basically, AMD says that FSR 2.0 incorporates temporal time-based data and includes higher quality anti-aliasing, and according to the company, the newer versions deliver similar or better than native image quality. So either way, on the baseline by itself, native image quality, it should make it better. It should make it like more, as you guys kind of maybe saw the picture, it's able to go and fill in the blanks a little bit better. It can make the game look a little bit less blurry. It makes the backgrounds look nicer, and maybe you have different types of effects like waters or clouds or whatever. At the end of the day, it makes it slightly nicer. All right, good to see with that. The new version sounds closer to DLSS than the first version of FSR, because once again, this is 2.0 instead of 1.0, but AMD says it's achieving this image quality without dedicated machine learning hardware. Because of that, FSR 2.0 will maintain an open platform that works across graphics cards as well from AMD, NVIDIA, and Intel in supported titles. So basically, it's actually also an option too that developers can also utilize, and even NVIDIA and Intel can also do too as well. Like this is actually, to my mind, a really big change and pretty much a pretty big update, especially when it comes to consoles, but as well across like the entire PC scene too on top of that. AMD made big promises about FSR 1.0, and I do kind of remember that too as well, and although it's an impressive technology, well, a lot of folks obviously just weren't the biggest and happiest with it. And a lot of these folks are also assuming that we'll have a chance to go release this out now up to the second quarter too as well, so it should be coming sooner rather than later, and we may also see a little bit more updates when it comes to these consoles. And I think especially on the fact too, in case you guys are skeptical on the console side, the fact that they're literally going and showcasing up Deathloop as all games, it's probably a good example to go and showcase. And it's probably going to be good for all the consoles in case anyone's ever worried about that stuff too as well. So, just so you guys know. AMD also released the Radeon Super Resolution, which is RSR, which is available in the latest AMD software driver, and it's the driver-level version of FSR for AMD graphics cards, and it works in any game. AMD showed off RSR and Warframe, which run from 108 frames per second at native 4K to 250 frames. That's just insane. Like that quote alone should be huge. So RSR is basically FSR 1.0, fit with the same quality settings and similar performance improvements. It works with all games, but unlike FSR, it only works with AMD RX 5000 series and newer graphics cards. It's a press briefing. AMD said it's working on updating RSR to work with the Ryzen 600 APUs in the future too as well. And like I said too, when it comes to all this stuff, when it comes to consoles, number one, AMD is the maker for these consoles. Number two, when it comes to the internals, even if it's not like a direct 1-to-1, say like NVIDIA, even though they may have better technology, say for their 3090 cards, a lot of that stuff will also be downgraded to actually the 3060, 3050, 3060 Ti's, like all those types of like lower range cards too as well. So, even like, this is kind of like the thing, like you develop something, even if it doesn't hit one by one, it'll still go hit things like, say, for consoles in general, and especially when it comes to better drivers, better internals, better all that stuff. It's kind of the same thing for RTX, or RTX is more so developed, say, for NVIDIA graphics cards, and then you're able to go then utilize RTX long term, and also use that for consoles. So just so you guys all know, no matter what happens in terms of if they're going to be pushing more so for the console side or not, this will be a nice thing for consoles and also a good thing for PC gaming. The upscaling tech is available in the latest AMD software update. To enable it, all you need to do is RSR in the settings and lower your resolution in-game. RSR will kick in and automatically upscale the game to your monitor's native resolution. And we took RSR out for a spin. You guys can see the article over here from Digital Trends, and you can see the comparison below. The left side is with RSS turned on, and the right side with RSS turned off. Which I'll be honest with you guys, still for this one, it's always kind of hard to go pinpoint exactly unless you kind of stare at it. Kind of seems like the backgrounds look a little bit on the nicer side, the background details too as well, and somewhat more on the proper actual, like, I guess, map background and also upper mode too. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things you kind of have to stare at, but overall, as the technology keeps on getting better and better and better, the better it'll actually go and be. And as well, subjunctively, they said RSR is handling this image about as well as FSR does, and it works in any game. However, the rough edges of FSR still show up, especially in the distant objects. And that's kind of the main reason why I was showing you guys that wall before, because it kind of goes and showcases on, like, the farther away, it can still kind of use, like, that somewhat machine learning, for lack of better terms, you know, like just the automated system to kind of basically automate it all and make it look a little bit nicer too as well. And on top of that too, they also upscale it too. And on top of that, and the lower resolutions may struggle in the input as it scales down. With RSR, AMD has an answer finally to end the video's image scaling. Fsr 2.0 looks like it may answer the DLSS as well, though we're going to have to go and see until later on this year to test it ourselves. So very cool news when it comes to consoles, when it comes to future console updates, when it comes to AMD updates, when it comes to AMD graphics cards, and as well, we're going to have to go and wait and see in maybe the next few days and talk a little bit more about how this might affect consoles, how it might affect PCs, and everything up in the future. So I'll be looking forward to that AMD conference. We'll talk about that throughout the next few days, and I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 digital console controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Sign up for that Webull and Coinbase down below, Twitter and Twitch stream down below, as I mentioned, Twitter giveaway down below, all the usual sellouts, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys all for, I guess, I don't know, existing. Love you guys.